I welcome everybody. Let's stand now on the Pledge of Allegiance. Paul, you want to lead us in that?
Yes, sir. Please join me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Calling the meeting to order. Everybody here. Paul?
Here.
Okay, Chad? Here. I'm here. Let's move on. How about, is there any communications that are,
No communications?
Anybody want to speak? Nobody signed up, great. All righty. How about the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, guys?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
A second. Basically moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Financial items, monthly chemical cost report, 12 Davis. This is for month ending September 30th, 2024.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Trying to make this a little bit longer. I did a few extra things. We're at 52,080. So about 6,000 less than the month before. So it was a pretty good month. Of course, the drought, not much water quality change. So, but anyways, one of the good things is if you take the first 3 months of this fiscal year and place it to last year, we're about 35,000 below what we was last year. So
Great. Good deal.
great.
So this time of year, the water's pretty stable, a
Yeah,
little bit cooler.
yeah. We start getting in the winter, that's when it really stays stable. They always say it's harder to treat cold water, but that's not the case with us. You know, you use less chemicals and everything else.
Any other questions on that or comments? Okay, Bob. Thanks for that. It's always good reports like that.
We're Jason with, your vendor history reports. You have there, you've got your month ending.
Jason's not here today. He's
He
here
is, I'm not sure where he's at.
I didn't see that normal.
And you've got your month ending and your year to date, September 30th, 2024.
I glanced through it. I didn't see anything that was glaring that was out of line.
Nothing I'm aware
All in
of.
the library.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the financial report that's presented.
There's a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
Second.
Seconded. And any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's move on.
Okay,
General
no-
manager's report.
There is no invoices supposed to present, so nothing there. Chestnut Street water line's complete. Contractors already came and cleaned up all their stuff. We're just waiting for them to send us the final bill. I know Dave was working with Joe and Matt to finalize quantities, and that's forthcoming. So I was hoping to have it for you all today. I think they're still crunching numbers and still tying up some things. So hopefully next time we can pay the final invoice and this will no longer be on the agenda.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Comments on that? Any questions? No?
Any questions on that? All right, the water system improvements project, phase 3A. We've got some changes that we just discussed before the meeting, and I'll let Doug discuss those. So Doug, floor is yours.
Yep,
Is this good stuff or bad stuff?
it's
A mix.
okay stuff.
Okay.
So what we've got is we want to open our bids next Tuesday. For those, after some pretty in-depth conversations with our potential contractors, they've had conflicts and trying to get stuff done, so we're going to move that to next Friday. So
What day is it?
I think that's the 18th,
Out at your place, what time? 10 o'clock or something?
11 o'clock.
Oh, no, that's right, the 18th. It was on Tuesday. Yeah.
So Friday, the 18th, at 11 o'clock. We were opening bids for all
They're
four.
moving them. Yeah. they're moving
That
them.
was the same day that you have that training.
When's that auditor's training?
That's not on Friday.
It's on a
It's
Tuesday.
on Friday, I thought.
I thought it was
No,
on
It was on the
Tuesday.
23rd. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
The auditor's training is 23rd.
Registration deadlines due, but we already
Oh,
registered.
okay.
Okay, the 18th, at
18th at 11 o'clock.
that should be able to do 3A bid opening. I just changed the date.
Settle that.
So we will open all four bids.
But at 11 though.
Yes.
It's 11.
That's Friday. Unfortunately, it's our department's.
Have you received a lot of the bids already?
No.
Done?
We probably, my gut tells me that they will be handed in. We'll not receive any of these because there are 4 of them. I really expect them all to be handed in at 10:59.
All 4 have to be put in by 10:59.
Yes. And again, the way we're going to do this, and I think the addendum will also address this, is that, we will be doing, we're actually going to open contract 4 first. And then the other 3 will be done by random selection. Okay, so we'll decide that Friday, the 18th, what we're going to do, 2, 3, 1, but nobody will know until we get there. That is quite honestly figurative speech to keep the contractors honest with their bids.
Right.
Yeah.
We are doing 4 first because it is probably the most difficult of those 4. And so we want to make sure that we get good contractor bids. We're afraid that if we go any other route, that by the time we get to 4, they may have all full.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the combined city of solution water.
Right.
One out.
So we'll do that one first,
Main
and
Pike
then we'll
Street.
do the other 3. Okay?
That's our plan.
Okay.
So that is the first change that we've made. The second change that we have made is the ending for contract 4, which remember is Pike and Main. And that is one which has the DOH paving, contribution to that at the end of it. We were gonna have that, to be substantially complete on the 2 main strips by, August the 30th of next year.
Mhm.
We've moved that 1 month to October the 1st. Simply, our conversation with our contractors were kind of desperate. They told us that, hey, if we don't get at least 1 more month, they wanted 2, but we negotiated 1, but they were not gonna bid the project at all. So we were down to 1 contractor potentially bidding.
How's that at work with the state's paving program?
So we called the state and we even asked, hey, is there the chance of moving it to the spring? Their answer was, well, remember, this money is not what they call program money. Program money is something that is set aside each year specifically for jobs. This is supplemental money. And so this money is just every year it's moved on. And even to the point of telling us that that money was never guaranteed for this job anyway, it's just there because of political help to get it moved. So same kind of thing. They are left, they anticipate that the paving will take about 2 weeks for them to do. So that would be all of October and November left for them to be able to do that work, and maybe into December. So it's all good. We will work with the DOH all the way up to that point, letting them know when we're going to be available. If we can finish early, then we'll turn it loose early and so forth.
You're just keeping them informed.
I will go ahead and state again and again what, you know, our thought has always been, if the DOH decides to wait until spring to do that and not do it immediately following this, that is not a bad thing, simply because I'm not a big fan of finishing up and immediately going with fresh pavement on top of a job that is just finished, considering that we're going to be reconstructing the streets from side to side. And so it would at least give a winter for any type of settling to occur that can be fixed under our warranty with our contractor before they go in and do the finished paving. So again, just letting you guys know this is coming. We know that we're going to keep, and certainly the citizens of Clarksburg are going to keep the political pressure on the DOH to hold up their end of the promise on that.
So on the trench patches, all we just want to do is just concrete up to the surface of the road.
On the
That's it.
yes, on the patches, we're going to do concrete and have it ready. But some of those other places where we are putting the water and the sewer, you're basically going to do a thick asphalt, the base course, and then come up. And there will be temporary striping that we put down, that kind of stuff. So it'll, you know, we're going to have asphalt and striping down. It's not going to be a gravel road there for anybody to do. But it will be the fine finish coat that would normally be out there.
I was gonna ask a question, are there plans, has the city talked to you about the Italian Heritage Festival, which is usually late August, early September? So like, are they working on Main Street first and then move the pipe? What's the plan? It's all
No, it's always Labor Day weekend.
We will work with the contractor on those. We've talked about those, that those plans had to be, that the streets had to be up and ready for any type of weekend festivities, anything even beyond the Heritage Festival. You know, if, you know, for some chance basketball team wins the state championship and they want to do a parade downtown, they're going to make sure that they have those type of things covered and taken care of.
Well, you have the Italian festival, then there's what, 1 week, and then you have the Black Heritage Festival.
Yes.
So those are the two we definitely have, and then sometimes you have
Jesus
that
Fest.
Jesus Fest is sometime in there.
Yeah.
That's about the only 3 things,
Yeah, and
until you
so
get to
those-
Thanksgiving parade.
those things have been addressed in the contract for those.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Anything more on that, Doug?
No.
Thanks for keeping us informed of everything. All right,
Shelby, do you have anything, to add to that? I know with the change of bid opening, we're gonna have to probably change our phone call.
Yes. I figured out a couple of times it might work for that, so I was gonna run by you there at the end of the meeting. But yeah, we're gonna get these bids open and think about our next move. And we see where they come in.
Very good.
all right. Ready to go to Snake Hollow.
Snake Hollow Road, it's DEP.
I will think for just 1 second before I open my mouth, because I always talk about the wrong one. So Snake
Yeah,
Hollow
this is
Road.
Snake Hollow, yes.
Snake
These are those
Hollow.
people, it's the desperate need of water out
By
there.
Arlington.
We are still awaiting the environmental clearances from the DEP on that. So as soon as they get that to us, then we're ready to roll. But, yeah, we're still waiting on environmental clearances.
Any time frame?
I'm surprised we haven't seen them yet. And so we could expect them any day. Those are typically here. They do a pretty good job of getting those routed around. My gut tells me that because of all of the projects that are out there right now, getting clearances are taking just a little bit longer than they normally do.
How long will this project take? We get rolling with it? Any kind of rough
I'm-
idea?
I think the construction part of it is 120 days, but I don't remember the delivery time for the materials in there. So it should be, 3-4 months at most. It's,
But startup could be, I'll see, once you get this DEP thing. in.
once we get the DEP thing going out to
We gotta go ahead.
bidding, couple of months, I guess is.
Can we get it out this year and start in the spring?
Yeah.
What I was thinking about, but these other projects going about
Yeah.
that time frame. If it's 2 months, and we're right, going to find contractors will do that at the same time.
Well, thankfully, this is small.
Yeah,
and-
this was small. This will be able to, some of our local contractors.
Oh, some of the local people can take care of it.
And I think probably what I'll do is shoot for this sometime in maybe January, if we can, because that will settle down all these other contractors, get all of the big pipe bids out of the way, and then we can kind of, give this one the attention it needs. So,
Okay. Any questions? All right, let's move on to Mr. Manager.
Second Street Pump Station, I heard you got some news for us.
yeah, okay, so Second Street, if you remember right, the last time we had jumped in and our modeling was showing that we were having negative pressures in pipes and just all kinds of stuff. So we were going to go back and see what is the largest pump that we can put in and still make it work. Well, while we did that, Tom Urquhart and I sat down and we went through every piece of fitting through the pipe and did our work. It's a long way to get to the point of, we were looking at 2,200 gallons a minute for the pump. I think we're about 1,900 gallons a minute. Okay. And so.
Bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, we got it twisted out there. And again, what that does is that puts the pressure in the pipe just right at 1 pound of pressure in the pipe. The other thing I'm gonna do is I think I'm actually gonna leave the pump the same size at 2,200 gallons a minute. We are gonna put variable frequency drives in there so that as your system gets upgraded and that pressure becomes available, you will have the ability to take that pump all the way up to the 2,200
Take it
gallons
up.
you want, okay?
Because we might have more demand.
Exactly. And so we're gonna put that future growth in there now.
Good deal.
The cost between a 1,900 gallon a minute pump and a 2,200 gallon a month is probably somewhere around $10,000. And the size of this project, that is minuscule in comparison to what we do. So that's the approach. Estimated cost right now, I'm about $600,000.
It's a lot better than well over $1 million.
It is. And
You're in
really,
budget, that's all. Good point,
Yeah.
Dave.
Thank you, man.
So, well, it all depends on when the numbers come in. but that puts the pump station back up on your property. All the controls up there have the actuator valves in place so that you can make your controls from your plant in there, so yeah, right around $600,000. And with your head nod, we'll go ahead and get those plans finalized as quick as we can.
Can we all nod our heads?
Okay.
Yeah.
What size line is that?
12-inch.
Wow. Any more questions?
Bob,
No.
you have any questions?
Bob, any comments or questions?
I think you're tickled, aren't you?
Just not.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on.
You have
Thank you,
anything?
Doug.
Add to that?
There's little holes in the hair.
Yeah.
Controls the
The SCADA,
SCADA, at this point.
so that'll be,
Right, the 600,000, I'm sorry, you're right, Tom, I apologize.
It doesn't include the SCADA.
It does not include the telemetry part of this. And I don't know what that cost is with your telemetry. I don't know your telemetry well enough to know that cost. I'm guessing that's somewhere around 15 to 20,000, but I don't know for sure.
You have any idea, Tom, or anything?
I don't.
Bob, can you get a
I'm glad
rough,
you brought that
can
up.
you get a rough estimate?
It's cost.
From Adler?
Yeah.
It's basing it off of his, what he went off of, right?
Okay. So we know what we're doing here. Let's move on to the
That's
next.
good, that's good. All right, the TTHM removal project, I'm gonna let Bob, are you ready to talk about this?
Yeah, we can talk about some of it. They came, last week, but they had a new, prototype that they were using to do out here. And, the people that fabricated it didn't do some things right, so they got some funky results. So they actually went back to Georgia. The guy's actually coming here tomorrow. They're gonna redo the testing because they wanna make sure they have it right. So when they do, what is that? The study for,
He's doing a pilot.
yeah, the pilot study.
He's doing a pilot study here.
But anyways, I've got some stuff here we'll go over.
You want your
Real quick.
podium? You want your podium?
No, I'm gonna vote again. I kind of just wrote stuff on there. This isn't, we're still finalizing our design for our system.
I'm looking at this, sir. I think I have copies.
I think so.
I want to get it her here.
Just send that one down to, everybody got one. So anyways, basically, if you see this picture, that's what our system would look like.
Now, I understand this is a raised tank.
Yeah, this is an elevated one. This would be like one in South Carolina.
Yeah,
But
but it's still the same concept.
Right.
We can't see the tank. It's up.
Right, it's,
Yeah.
it's a,
Yeah, yeah, it's actually going into the center mass right there. That's why it looks different. But the way this system works is if you follow it, you've got the water coming in.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, this is how.
How about you?
Is this gonna be out here where our clear wells, or what's this gonna be?
Well, you're gonna have them at the clear well, but you're also gonna have them out the tank sites.
non-locations.
One of these things at every one of those things?
Yes.
Little smokestacks everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Be like having our own little steels.
Well, that's good. We got $3.8 million to pay for it, right?
Yeah, well, and honestly, they're cheaper than the other ones that go inside the tank.
Off the shelf. type
Yeah.
brand.
Oh, I can see it now. FCW on the side.
Yeah.
Painted with
Little
the
mini
general
ones.
manager.
One of the great things about this right here is we don't have to find tanks to work on anything. Everything's right here at ground level versus everybody else's equipment that is inside the tank. There'll be nothing inside our tank.
How tall is that big tank?
The one right here,
This is right here.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but they'll vary depending on, yeah, probably.
It's customized to the size of the tank.
Yeah, they'll all be different. They'll all be different. But anyways, the water comes in and then it goes through the spray nozzles. I have a picture of what a spray nozzle looks like. There'll be several of those inside of the clear well, or inside those tanks right there. What that does is that's your aeration system. It turns it into droplets to get rid of the TTHMs. So what it does is it comes through and then it goes through those nozzles and it aerates. Then it comes down inside and there's a sparger in the bottom of the tank. And if you see right on top, it says a blower. Well, that's blowing air in there. And the air from that comes down to the sparger and it basically blows the air back up through the water. And then it comes back outside and then it goes back into either your tank or you can put it back into your pit.
Is this, treating the water going into the tank or coming out of it?
It's treating the water that's in and then putting it back into the tank. Yeah, yes. And it's based off of the design of how many gallons per minute is coming out of that tank at a certain peak demand. Yeah, yeah. Then you have your vents here at the top where I marked. That basically, you got the blower coming in, the vent is venting out the TPHMs that you're removing. Your little motor is over here where it says pump. That's what's pumping it back up into your tank. It's pretty neat. Like I said, this is their prototype that they brought in, that they had done. You can pass that around, but
What are all these big tall telephone poles?
that's the elevated tank. You gotta understand, everything's just built out there. In Georgia, those places, because it's flat.
Well, we're not gonna have that.
No, we have our
But
tanks.
their tank is sitting above it, that's what I.
Way up in the air.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you mean, flat land tanks. Okay,
Yeah, ours is on the
that's
ground.
just in there because they've taken this picture.
What was this
Right.
again, Bob?
This is their prototype type that they bring out and they take and do testing on to see how much removal they have. And each one of these stops you see here it represents a detention time. Okay, so this one is it takes 3 minutes for it to go through the whole system. And then this one is 6 minutes and then 9 minutes. And what they do is they do that at each interval to find out what is the best removal for your tanks or your clear well, for your water. That's what
No, they have a lot of history on this, right? This is not something that's brand
No,
new.
they got, their systems are all in Georgia.
Yeah, it's all the southern part of that.
yeah.
Which is good, because it's warmer.
And,
Right, they deal with. more-
yeah, and Louisiana,
And some in Texas, which is
one
much
of
warmer.
their things is and I think it's bromochlor, is that right? Bromochlor. That's the bad TPHMs. That's the ones that's hard to get rid of. The ones that we are is chloroform, what we're getting rid of. That's our high number here, and you can do it by aeration. Well, what happens is this system actually removes that for most systems with it. So even though we don't have an issue with it, if we did, it would be taken care of with this system. Because it's just stripping, it's basically stripping the water slate to get rid of TPHMs.
This will help really our wholesale customers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what the whole idea is. It's not just to help ourselves, it's to remove as much as possible as we can before it gets to their master readings. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they're wanting to do is they're trying to get their pilot down to where it's 0 coming out. That's the removal ratio. They usually get about 70% removal, or most of these systems are only 50. So, like I said,
Do you think you're gonna have to rechlorinate?
no, they did that, and they also, on this pilot study, they'll pit and see how much it drops the chlorine. And from the studies that they showed in Louisiana, those places, it dropped it some, but not a lot. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Even if we have to chlorinate a little bit more coming from the plant.
Yeah.
You're removing the disinfection byproducts anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, because stripping does take away the chlorine.
Injection of air.
Well,
Stripping the-
Now they're coming back in
If
this
you've got,
tomorrow.
anytime you've got air, then a lot of times it will strip the chlorine, just like it's doing these other things, it'll strip the chlorine out.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like you've got to clean all of the dirt out, and then you got to put the chlorine back in to get your residual sometimes.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're okay.
Yeah, it does drop it some, but what we can also do is with all the equipment in there and us not having to dump the water onto the ground like we normally do.
Yeah.
You can pay for that cost of the extra chlorine being fed.
Yeah.
So, where we feed like most generally is 1.8 during the summertime, even if we have to go to a 2.0, something like that, even though the chemical cost is more for the chlorine, it all equals itself out.
No, I think we're still gonna have a huge savings placed in all that millions of gallons of
Right.
water.
You push 2 out of your plant?
Well, not right now, but I mean, we do like 1.8 in the summertime. Then we go back down to 1.5 in the winter.
It's not bad. We were pushing 3 out of our
Yeah.
plant.
I think we were 2.2 when, 2.2, 2.3 when the, EPA wanted us to keep a 0.8 in the system and pH is out the wahoos.
Yeah.
So, no, we don't, normally it's around 1.8 takes care of everything.
Yeah.
And then we go back to 1.5 during the winter months. But like I said, the offset of what you're stripping out, it all evens itself out.
Good deal. It's just a wash.
So like I said, that's just a rough go. I mean, once they get in
Nine
here,
of these?
yeah, we have 8 tanks and then we'll have the clear well. And the clear well is gonna be the big project.
That's gonna be the biggest one.
Are they going to install it? or we-
Yes,
Yeah.
no, we don't do anything.
They
The only
do-
thing we have to do is hook the electric up.
Well, they did a clear well first.
Yeah, that's what we wanna do. Yeah, is go ahead and get it and get it taken care of.
Because it'll affect everything else. It might as well start at the
Yeah.
source.
Yeah, and what we did, and I think we kind of went over it a little bit with y'all. What we did this year to keep the levels down was we actually chambered off half of our clear well. So we were only, what is 1.5 million, we were only using 750,000 gallons of it. Well, really, we're only using that because at 750,000, we'd have had to hold that at 15 foot in there at all times. All right. But what we did was we dropped that down and we were at 6, 7 feet all the time in there. And what that did is it reduces your detention time. So it gives less time for the TTHMs to form. So we went from having 80 out there to doing this and dropping them to 30s.
In our clear well?
Yes,
80 to 30?
yeah, but we had to do all of that in order to get that accomplished. What this will do is we'll be able to, we'll be able to use the whole clear well, the whole 1.5 million, and not have to do anything. The equipment will do it for us.
So now you're just using parts.
Business as usual.
Right, yeah. Like having to drop the tank. We'll still have to drop the tanks some, but not as often as we do now, because you want the water to sit in there longer for the equipment to work. So we won't have to drop the system down as low and get the complaints from the customers, that live way up here.
What do other systems around here do? Similar in Alabama? They have to have heat problems like this.
Well, I know Bridgeport has mixers. They
Yeah.
don't have aeration. I can't speak for, you can speak for Morgantown. Do they have mixers and aerators?
Both.
And they use you guys said you changed to a different disinfectant.
Yeah, what we did during the summer was we changed over to sodium hypochlorite, and instead of using chlorine. So you change it over the summer, drop the HHM, but it comes with its own problems. Because if you use that, it's a weird combination, but if you use that, anybody who installs new carpet in their house, there is some weird chemistry that affects, and you have tremendous odor problems in this home.
Chemical reaction.
Yeah. It's wild to discover it, but yeah,
You telling me that, that was strange.
it is bizarre. It takes a couple of years to figure it out, but we got it approved through the health department, and everybody knows we do that in the summer. And to do that.
So you have to deal with stinky carpet, I guess.
Yes, yep.
Wow.
Don't shake your carpet.
Other than carpet. The old Tomcat came in.
Carpet has
The old Tomcat feet.
nasty odors that come out of it anyway.
But still, the
Well, believe it or not, when you open up.
All that
your
glue
faucet,
and stuff.
it comes out, you have pouring. Chemical compounds coming out of your faucet. And when they combine, it doesn't take much.
Wow.
Mixing Clorox and ammonia.
Yeah, it's nasty. It is nasty.
Don't try it.
No.
Yeah, don't try it.
Any other questions, Bob? Anything more, Bob?
No, I mean, as we go along, we can
You
fill
can
you in
give
with
us
more
updates
stuff.
as you do
Yeah,
this.
and we get an idea of what exactly they're gonna hopefully do to our system.
And you'll know after this time, you'll have something for next meeting.
Right, yeah, we can just keep you informed, and like I
That's
said,
good deal.
as we go, the more it'll fall into place. Right now, it's just kind of rough.
It's evolving. We're
Yeah,
just getting.
exactly, yeah, but you get the idea. And the other equipment that is on the market is the mixer itself is inside the tank. The aerator is inside the tank. And like I said, on this is, we can work on everything on the ground. We don't have to climb the tank all the time to
You
work
don't
on
have to
something.
go inside the tank. and all
Right.
that.
Well, the main, don't have to climb 60 foot to go work on something.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about it.
One other question, just looking at the size of that, does that treat 100% of the water that's going into the tank or just a portion of it?
It's supposed to do so many gallons per minute is what it's supposed to, they'll size it for that.
So it just depends on.
Yeah, so what we did was, we trended the tanks and what we did was we got how long it took to fill from this level to this. And then did the math to convert it to the gallons per minute, about the max that would be coming out of that tank. And that's what they'll base their system off of.
I guess if you have strong demand, that kind of alleviates the problem anyway.
Yeah. It's nothing's gonna be 100%. Because the simple fact is, like you just said, let's say, for instance, we was gonna actually size the clear well for like 6.4 MGD. Well, the problem with that is, that's what we're averaging, but during the daytime, a lot of times we're at 8.
You just don't know what the demand is.
Right, depending on the demand, so it changes. So what's gonna happen is, we're gonna size it for like 7 or 8, something like that. And then if you're above that, it's just your removal ratio is not gonna be as great. It's still gonna remove, but it won't remove it at, say, instead of 70%, it's gonna remove it at 60 for that 2 hours that you pump water. But by the time you get out in the tanks, everything mixes together, it's gonna be reduced back down.
Is that all done automatically? So you have so much coming out in that day, and it's replacement water going to go in.
You mean like just on a normal operation? Yeah, so much water will come out of the tank and then you replace it.
Yes.
Some of the problems with like Adamston and Broad Oaks is, like I said, our system pressure is always greater than what the tank is. In order for the tank to let out, the system pressure has to drop down. And that's why when we do what we do, we get those complaints from the system, is because you have to drop it, the system pressure so low to get those tanks to start to drain out.
Turn
Yeah.
the water.
So what we used to run, say 122, 124 pounds of pressure out of here, in order to get those tanks to drop, we drop all the way down to 110 to 105. Wow. You know, the system is just so strong. So out of a 65-foot tank, you get 10 foot of drop. So replacing 10 foot of water in that span isn't a whole lot of water. You know what I mean? So when we do what we do, by dropping them, we get about 20 foot. You know, so in order to drop them even further, everybody on the hill wouldn't have no water.
Yeah.
You know, so the only way to do that is to put this equipment in there, so we don't have to do that all the time. So,
You have to get upgrades.
So what they're gonna do with this, and again, this is Wiggins Engineering, and they're out of Georgia. They're going to come to bring the equipment tomorrow, working with Bob. They're gonna be doing a pilot study. So they're gonna give us data that's gonna show that this system works in our system, which they've already done some preliminary stuff. But we're gonna build a case so Shelby, when she goes to the funding agency, which is EPA, and tries to get this company, as you all can see, a sole source provider, because this is a customized.
So there's no bidding. We're trying to say these are the people who can do the job. There's nobody else that does it.
That's gonna be our case.
Yeah, okay. Because it's customized to us.
Right. And
Because we have a
we're
unique
gonna be able to
situation.
show, because Bob's got data from the other companies. Like he said, it was only, what, 50% removal, 40% removal?
yeah, there's a lot of complaints on those other companies that
And this is
have to go back
70,
in,
this is 70. and
because they're having
actually
issues,
even
and
more
their
than
answer is
70%
add another
less.
mixer. You know, so this guy that, I'm sorry,
Go
boss.
ahead.
This guy that, Wiggins, he actually worked for a company that installed packs on it. So that's how he actually got started on it. And, he said they find themselves, I mean, of course, anybody tell you anything? I mean, that's just the way it is, but they replace a lot of them because they're undersized and they start having issues. You know, and their answer is that to add another mixer. Well, you know, you can only add so many mixers.
You know, that's what you get when you get an off-the-shelf type, piece of equipment. You just, you buy it and then, like he said, well, that's not, you gotta add another one, you gotta add another one. No, this is customized to our needs. And they're gonna come in and show what impact this equipment's gonna have in our system. We're gonna be able to provide that to Shelby so we can prove to the agency that this is what we want. It works. Here's the data that shows it works. And these are the only company out there that it's custom built. This is turnkey, except for the electrical. It's turnkey. And it good
Well,
group of guys.
we'll have a strong case because they're gonna let us do something less than what we could have. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is the optimum or better one. All right, any other questions on this? Bob, thanks, good report.
Did you hear anything back from we do have a project officer that's been assigned, to our grant. That's been forwarded over to Shelby. Do you have anything to report on that?
Not quite yet. I know that our director is working on our agreement for you guys. I didn't get a chance to have it done for today.
That's okay.
But I'm hoping next meeting we'll have that. Hopefully a meeting scheduled with the project officer, so that way we can all talk instead of me trying to, relay the info to them. But yeah, I have the information and we're trying to get it together, so.
Very good.
Good job, Shelby. All right, how about Wolf Ben?
Wolf Summit, okay, Wolf Summit.
Wolf Summit.
Wolf Summit, Energy Center
Oh,
project.
yeah, Wolf Summit.
Okay, so this morning, Al Cox, Paul Howe, and I, representing the CWB, along with Drew Eddy, Jason Lang from the Clarksburg Sanitary Board, with our general counsel that represents both of us, Tim Stranko, a Thrasher Engineering representative, and I can never remember that guy's name that was there.
Clayton White.
Clayton White, there you go. And General Electric had several representatives, including their legal counsel. We're in attendance at the Harrison County Commission meeting this morning to discuss the Summit Park PSD boundary adjustment. No Summit Park PSD representative were present. But after an executive session, the commission unanimously approved the boundary adjustment and scheduled a hearing for October the 30th. So there's your update on that. So again, the boundary adjustment encompasses Wolf Summit Energy Center's property and Harrison County Commission's property. We did not take any customers away from Summit Park. We just took that area there. We didn't take any other customers away. So we just took in, again, the Wolf Summit Energy Center property and Harrison County Commission property, which borders the outside of Wolf Summit's property there. So there'll be some legal advertisements go out. I believe it's the last one legal ad to go out. County Commission will initiate that. We'll have public hearing on the 30th. That time, people will be heard. And then after that, there will be an order from the commission, from the Harrison County Commission that goes to the Public Service Commission. And the Public Service Commission then will have to rule on it. And normally it just runs through the commission. Usually they welcome this kind of thing. They're all about regionalization anyway. But, right now we're just looking at a boundary adjustment. So
And this all came about because Wolf Summit asked, we provide their water, it's maintained.
Absolutely.
And the same thing with the city. They ask, and to save this project and do it, we comply, say, yes, we can provide it there.
It was at the request of the developer that we provide them with water service, and the sanitary board was providing with sewer service. We have met with Summit Park PSD's board of directors twice. And we've resolved to go to the county commission. We petitioned the county commission to adjust their boundaries. So, any questions?
Good job. And we're getting along here.
I'll just add, this should help Summit Park PSD with the improvements we're going to be making.
Oh, yeah.
Right there with another, I think they need another master meter.
The accessibility to a big line like that.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, an obligation, I'm glad you brought that up, Paul, an obligation that we provided them kind of as a good faith effort, because they're neighbors to us, is they asked if they could have another feed off the 16-inch line there to be able to feed their system from that side, because right now they just have an 8-inch. So if they have a problem on the other end of their system, this will have an alternate service connection for them to provide service to their customers. It's about a $5,000 price tag that we will do free gratis to them. But we will do that. We will own up to that. They've asked us, and we will. Bob and his crew will make sure that happens for us. But we will do that. They've asked, and we're going to make
The line we're running up there from our main line up to their facility, is that something our crews can handle and put in, or do we have to have that all bid out?
That'll have to all be bid out. That's a big line,
Is it a big line?
about 2,000 feet of 8-inch.
What's 8-inch line? Okay.
How long was that line over on Jenkins Avenue you guys put in?
It was 6 inch.
6 inch, how long was that?
It's pretty.
Couple thousand feet, wasn't it?
It was a little over 1,000. So we run 6 inch all the way out Road Avenue, down over the hill, all the way down Prairie Hollow.
Yeah, and it was on different elevations too.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
And this out here is pretty flat.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if we were gonna do it ourselves or not, the actual installation. Okay,
Yeah, all of that will be paid for by the developer. The developer will be paying for the line and the install.
So they'll get that contracted in and we'll just inspect it.
Yeah, we'll actually make the connection into our line when it comes down to us. Yeah,
oh, that's good then.
yeah, the developer will be paying on cost.
But the meter will be up at their facility.
The meter be down the road.
It will be.
Or do we want to put the meter up there? We'll probably put the meter up there just in case there's any development off, I guess there won't be no development. So it'll be, the meter will be down the road.
Down to Main, so that line will be their service line,
That's correct.
They're maintenance.
so we don't have to maintain it.
But what about if there's development up in the area around them?
That time you can choose to move your meter up and.
Change the
So
meter
it will be
out.
moved.
Put a
Or we
deduct
can do a
meter.
deduct meter,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, I just wondered, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go to executive session, but we're gonna talk about, board member reports and comments. Any comments from the board? Any comments?
Not really, nothing.
Just
All right.
prayers for everyone in Florida.
Yeah.
Thoughts, prayers,
My aunts
everyone on
and
that.
my aunts in Fort Myers.
Yeah,
Okay, I've just got a few things, then I'll, move around the room. So, yesterday I attended a, West Virginia Planning Workshop for Emergency Drinking Water Supply in Charleston. It was hosted by the EPA, the West Virginia Emergency Management Division, and the West Virginia Department of Health. I got to meet Donnie Haynes. That we worked through the lead issue. I got to meet him in person yesterday. What this plan is, it's a critical tool outlining emergency water supply logistics during incidents, including how to locate, secure, and deliver supplies. And it also specifies the stakeholder roles. This includes drinking water, utilities. So the utilities that were there were Clarksburg Water Board, Fairmont was there, Berkeley County was there, Love was there, American Water was there, and I think Putnam PSD was there. So a lot of your bigger suppliers were there. And what we did is we basically inventoried what could we provide in a state of emergency here. You know, we went over our capacity and what we could provide. And if something would happen here, what do we do about, you know, we went over, like, we had the National Guard here helping us do water distribution. Where do we get the water? We got it from the state. Equipment, what equipment do we have available? Just all the logistics things. We kind of went around the room because we had utilities from all over the state. So went through a lot of different exercises. I had to cut out early because I had a PEIA board meeting. It was a good teaching tool for all of us. We're going to get a copy of the plan that we all put together once EPA finalizes it and kicks it back to us for comment. But it was nice to be asked to be part of that. So we were represented there.
did we do something one year, Bob, since a crew down to southern part of the state, put
McDowell
them
County,
up, sent the equipment down? Where was that?
down McDowell, down
McDowell
Welch.
County, they had a
We
terrible
put a bunch of water line back in.
You guys were down there, what, for
Me,
a
Dave
week?
Layton, and
How
Ron
many days
Blake.
were you down there? You remember how much?
About a week and a half.
About a week and a half. Yeah.
Was that a duck? So we said?
Down McDowell, down Welch.
Oh.
I just remembered that. We did our duty that time.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that kept hanging us up, and it's something that, we really need to think about regionally, is tankers. We have done. Water tankers. We can fill them up. There's not very many in the state.
Do these have to be, I'm sure, what, potable water?
They
Because you
have-
got a tank, it's all
Well,
chemicals and
there's
stuff.
two
like that.
types. There's non-potable and then there's potable. Of course, that one has to get permission from the state to be licensed. And you gotta take chlorine residual, things like that before you fill them up and send them off and stuff like that. But that's what people need. I mean, like right now, if you go to Sam's Club, there is no water up there. I get water the other day and there's no cases of water. It's gone. All resources just went down south, as they should. But what if we have an emergency now? So it's having these resources and these backup plans and these continuity plans and things like that. That's what we discussed yesterday. So, we have water here. And I know they were laughing this morning talking about bottling our own water.
No, I just wonder why you're at Sam's getting water.
It's for my wife. But
She don't like Bridgeport water.
Put that in the Clarksburg paper. Clarksburg general manager panics. Couldn't find any drinking water.
water. But, at our staff meeting this morning, we talked about bottling water. I know Paul and I talked about it, but I was serious. I mean, our water is good water. It's good water. I mean, we've won taste test and, you know, we've been, got many awards and stuff for the quality of water. And
Well, we went through this for almost a week when I was mayor, and I was doing a couple of water board too. The Army sent us in 2 portable filtration units. They put one in the river down by the VA, the old VA bridge. I can't remember the other was. They were sucking that water out of that muddy water and treating it like potable water. Pepsi Cola was bottling water, 2-liter bottles. And Budweiser were bottling cans, beer cans, white ones, with water. in it.
Yeah, they drink the beer to get to the
I
water.
still have those cans. I mean, they found all kinds of ways, but I don't remember any big tanker trucks.
but
Now they had
it's
tanker
just something-
trucks for, we had tanker trucks for non-potable purposes, to flush commode, do those kind of things. And Jack Keeley's firm brought in these huge, big tanks. They set them by the high rises, so those people in those apartment buildings could have water for sanitary purposes. I mean, it was really something how the city pulled together. And we handled it here.
I mean, so how easily we could be in the same situation as those folks in Asheville, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and I know the first thing when there was an emergency, we'd reach out to the state. You know, they're always the first, they're the first go-to. We never think about being self-sufficient, at least to the point that, you know, we go to them in a big emergency. But they get calls, they have an area that's out of water, hey, we need 2 pallets of water. We got 20 customers out of water.
Yeah.
Why are you calling us for 20 customers? Go to Sam's Club, get your own water. But they get requests all the time from small utilities of, hey, we need water. We got 20 people out of water. You know, and of course, they call the governor's office and they send them 2 pallets of water. But you should only go into those resources in an emergency.
Oh, yeah, right.
You need to think about being self-sufficient to the point when it gets to be, the scope gets to be more than you can handle, then you reach out to them.
Parsons, you were with it. They got hammered during 85.
Oh, yeah.
Were you born then? I can't remember.
I was in 2nd grade.
Oh, jeez.
I
was
remember-
mayor.
I was in 8th grade.
I do remember that like it happened yesterday.
I remember the Army had, big, what tankers they brought in by Kroger or something. We go down and get the
Oh, yeah.
water out of the trucks.
Exactly right.
But this
I just wonder
exercise,
what they did over there. Did they lose their water? Sure.
oh, yeah.
They lost everything. Wow.
But this here gives us resources to go to in times of emergency. But the tanker was a really, you think those would think they would be available, but they're not. There's only just a couple of them.
Well, we could talk about this because our meeting will go on. But speaking of tankers, that would take a whole lot of serious thinking of location. Who pays for them? How do you keep them? You can't just let water sit around in them. How do you, whatever. But it's done. They have them available. But, it's a good idea, but we're not going to solve that today.
Right. Yeah. But I want to let you know that we were,
Tom, give us.
Yeah, just, we looked at this at Bridgeport. Yeah, while I was still there, they having redundant sources of water. And did look at actually drilling a couple of wells, to be able to do that. And also, we looked at having a portable plant. In case, again, water, so just for whatever, Kim Hawes particularly was very emergency minded.
Sure.
And we looked at the possibility of then having to flood the water from Simpson Creek in our water lines and what we'd have to do to clean it up. But I think that too, and we looked at the tanker too, what the tanker would cost. But I think that that'd be something for future consideration, particularly if we could get some grant dollars out there to get a tanker truck that we had parked, at least 1 or 2, and a portable treatment unit in case of a need. Just that way that if we could get grant dollars to take care of it, you're really good at getting grant dollars, then that might be something I want to think about.
I can imagine with our places are so close together. I always wondered why in extreme emergency. So I remember, I think Fairmont fed Shinston some water at one point in time. Why couldn't we
Fairmont did.
Why couldn't we go one way or the other with Grafton or Fairmont or whatever? In other words, kind of like, I don't know, valves and how you work something out like that. Because we're close to some of these systems.
the line between Bridgeport and Grafton is not big enough to be able to handle the.
Oh, they couldn't.
Grafton at that point.
Okay.
And or vice versa, because we looked at the potential of having fees from, Grafton to Bridgeport
Yeah.
on the other end in case of emergency. I mean, we looked at a lot of different.
I always thought about that, if it's a backup to Bridgeport, you could get emergency water.
Yeah.
But the biggest size of lines, okay. All right,
Yeah, there's only one portable water treatment plant that I'm aware of, and that's the Rural Water Association has a portable water treatment plant of, what is it, 100 gallon a minute?
Something like that.
So, I mean, it's
Doesn't produce a
it's
whole
being
lot.
prepped to go
we
south,
need 8 million.
Yeah.
Shower.
but it's, you know, at least people can fill up stuff. So, yeah, it's being prepped.
Well,
to go
drinking water is
south.
the biggest concern of anything.
Okay, on Clyde's behalf, I sat down with him and got an update. So we're talking about our utility service line and customer service line inventory. As you all know, it's due by October the 16th. So Clyde is finalizing our utility service line and customer service line inventory for the West Virginia Department of Health. Their material inventory management portal, which is online. The template, the original template, you remember, we've been doing this for 3 years now. You know, it was supposed to be just what is the utility service line, what the customer service line is, location, and how did you determine it was kind of the basic. So Clyde goes and gets all these together, pulls down the template. Now there's 34 attributes for each location. 34 attributes.
Oh, my goodness.
23 of those are mandatory. 4 of them are conditional. So depending on how you answer it, then there's 4 more questions that you have to answer. And there's 7 optional. We have 8,526 locations that we've got to provide this information to.
Oh, well.
We're pulling it together. And we're gonna hopefully have it uploaded by this Friday. But so these questions, so what else could they ask for? So some of the questions include structure age. When was it built? Sensitivity. Sensitivity means, is it a daycare? Is it a hospital? Things like that. School.
Use purpose.
So you gotta grant that. And then thankful for her today, they also want to know if they're disadvantaged. So thankfully, from her answer today, all of Clarksburg is disadvantaged. So that was an easy.
Say something about you.
Yes.
No.
The other one, and you're gonna love this one. Is there any lead solder
In the house?
in the house?
Check yes.
Is there any history of any lead lines ever being at that location? Ever? For the history of that structure?
Before bothers.
Is there any filtration system present in the home? It's none of their business. They want to know if there's any reverse osmosis, any filtering system in.
Well, you know, Paul's got one.
So we can answer one time.
More government nonsense.
I mean, this is what they ask.
Now, who's asking this again?
This is the Bureau for Public Health for EPA, because obviously this database is going to go even beyond the state's database.
Tell them they can send 400 idiots in here to help us. Because they have a lot of them to spare.
Yeah. But those are all the attributes. So we are going to do all the mandatory ones so we can get this thing uploaded to meet the deadline. So like I said, Clyde aims to upload by the end of the week. And here,
Now, that's the
Jason,
things that we know we can answer.
yes. And he's
You said 8,400 locations?
8,526.
This is unbelievable.
A lot of these we have, thankfully, because of our record keeping. They even want to know the date we went out and looked and verified. They're really getting down into the weeds with this stuff. So what you see here, here's our inventory as it sits now. That's at 8,526, I was just telling you about. That's the makeup of it, okay? Now, if you move to the right of that, this is the combination. If they have a lead service line, what combination of material types are on the customer side?
Right.
So you can kind of see that breakdown. Cloud's all about numbers and stats, so if you notice the lead line matches that number over here. So the lead, see here, that
Yeah.
3431 million.
Yeah, it matches the lead.
So
These are all lead lines connected to
this is
something.
the lead utility service line.
Connected to.
And then you can see what the customer,
Mhm.
he just wanted to show the combination.
Yeah,
I mean, that's good information to share.
sure.
So, and that's why that's why we're giving it to Doug, so he can look at this.
One has specs.
This has been,
I'm surprised we don't have more galvanized. Well, we do have a lot of galvanized.
I was surprised on the plastic.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised there, but
Yes.
all of our service locations are accounted for, every last one of them.
Good.
So, like I said, a lot of work went into this on all departments.
A lot of these are on empty lots where houses have been demoed.
Yeah, yeah, you can see the, right there, condemned, demolished, and then some of them with no service, which is probably soon to be transferred over.
Wow.
Wanted to give you that information. One last thing, the West Virginia State Auditor's Office Board and Authority Training, what Jason was referring to earlier. All board members, you probably got the email, have been registered for this training. It's Wednesday, the 23rd. At the Best Western Plus in Bridgeport. Given our board meeting is scheduled the same day, I recommend rescheduling for Tuesday,
Yeah.
the 22nd. You okay with
Let me
that?
take a look at that. 22nd. God, 22nd.
Because it is a day-long training.
Okay. Yeah.
What day is this again?
The training's on the 23rd. We're going to
Wednesday.
reschedule the meeting for the
So we need to have a
22nd,
meeting on
Tuesday.
The 22nd.
Where's it
Is there a
located?
time or something?
Best
Oh,
Western Plus in Bridgeport.
On Tuesday?
No, everything's good on,
Right behind
on Tuesday.
Walgreens.
Seems like it's good for me.
We good for that one?
Yeah, we're talking, what,
Time.
3 o'clock or what?
Same time?
Yeah, same time with you.
It's okay with me.
Yes.
Are you okay with that? We'll go
Yes.
2 or 3
Good with
o'clock.
that?
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
So
go
they-
3 o'clock. Fix it. Edit.
All right, Jason Farrell's got the unaccounted for water loss. He provided it to me, of course, after I already posted the agenda. So he's gonna go over that with you now for the month ending August 31st, 2024. Jason?
All right, our percent lost finished is 16.63.
Good.
Which is down from last month of 17.27. So our, for the total for the year to date so far, percentage lost finished is 16.95. And our total unaccounted for is below 15 at 14.02.
Well, that's
Oh, that's
really,
great.
that's good, great, that's good.
That's under what we,
And last month, our total unaccounted for was 16.21, so it dropped a little over 2%.
Continues the trend, that's great.
Love it.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Jason has something else here. Jason, I'll take it. Hand it out there.
I'll let you guys review this. If you guys have any questions, you guys can see the meeting.
You all asked for this information, and so he provided regarding the fire protection. So if you don't have any questions, you can see Jason after the meeting, you can call him after. So,
did we ever get any other information from the city?
no, we'll discuss that in executive session later.
All right,
Okay.
Thanks for this.
All right, Tom, you're on deck with the report.
I've been primarily working on the system water line and trying to put together a 3 and a 5-year plan first, and then we may look at longer term after that. What's really needed in some of the areas are making sure all of our 4-inch lines are done away and so that we have 6-inch water lines for fire service. And looking at that along with some really bad, other smaller lines outside of what the projects are gonna take, there's about $3 million worth. So one of the things that we need to do in that 5-year plan is, because that's what coincides with when we need to have all the fire hydrants straightened out and off of the 4-inch lines, would be about $600,000 a year for the next 5 years we need to put into these smaller lines in addition to the projects that we're going. After that, I've been working also towards trying to work towards a 5-year plan and maybe it longer. I did it a couple of different ways. We have about just shy of $300 million worth of assets, water, and appurtenances, valves, and fittings and whatnot. We'll take care of a portion of that with the project. There's still a lot of work to do. And if you take the $300 million and I just, doing some simple stuff is that would be about and you have a 50-year engineered life, that would be about $6 million a year we should be doing in replacements, not just repair, but in replacements. And so, and this has been an ongoing battle, I'm sure, and we've been doing a lot of renewal, we've been doing a lot of repairs, but it doesn't seem like in what I've studied that we've been doing a lot of replacements. And I guess my old adage is, as soon as you put it in the ground, then you start figuring out when you're going to replace it, because that's going to happen. And that's what I'm working on right now, is that. And I also did a little bit of work on a additional crew. The cost for a crew would be about $670,000 to $680,000 a year, which would include the crews, the benefits. That would be a 4-man crew with benefits and equipment amortized on 10 years. Because my feelings is about every 10 years you have to replace the equipment. And so that would be about what the crews would cost, and then the materials to be able to supply the crew would be somewhere in $1.5 million, $2 million a year, depending on the size of lines we were doing. And so we'd be looking at an investment with the crew of somewhere to help us to get to that $6 million a year, and we could do a little bit less expensively than what contracting it would be. But so you'd have somewhere in that neighborhood of about $2.5 million a year total investment. And I think that that's something we really need to start thinking about, because I think that's something that we need. And anyway, those are just some preliminary thoughts, things that I have been working on. With that, I've also been working with, we had Tommy Michael come in to look at some of the improvements that we want to make internally in here, so maybe work something out where we could work with him. Tom, unfortunately had to have bypass surgery here just recently. And so I went back and Dave and I had looked at what we want to do here, and he's done some preliminary drawings, and we'll work on it, try to work on it internally and try to see what we can do here and decide whether we can whether we need to contract it or whether we need to try to do something with it.
That's internal security measures inside the building here.
Yeah, we looked at it. I think you all looked at it a couple of years back.
Before me coming on, I think
We're getting close to doing something, and then I'll let line, hired this guy, and then I'll let line issue.
and then I kind of got through on the back burner.
Yeah, we did a
Well, the
lot of
costs
work.
kind of got high too.
Well, they started off with 100 cameras or something, and all kinds of stuff was ridiculous.
So
And we cut it down, did some look at it, and cut it way down, covered everything we thought needed to be done. Work with Thrasher, people looked at it with this, not only just cameras, but how you lock doors, unlock doors, access, recording it, how we protect the SCADA place out here,
I didn't see part of that. What I was doing was just primarily
Yeah.
the walls and the doors and those type of things.
Yeah, we were looking at doors and everything. But, thanks, done a lot of work for us.
Yeah.
Thomas, in your estimation, like a 4-man crew would be a good investment for us because we could save on contract network out.
Yes, I think that, and again, we're not wearing a different hat. It worked out really good for us at Bridgeport. We were able to do a lot of small projects that we normally would have contracted. In fact, we did I guess one of our big projects we did was a mile of sanitary force main, which would be like putting in water line of 12-inch. If I remember right, it was 12-inch force main, and with our crew, and it was, it went really, really well. And we were able to do it we had a contracted price and we weren't gonna be able to do the project. And that's what precipitated it, I guess. We did it and we saved, I think, a couple $100,000.
Well, it's an ongoing thing. It's not gonna go away. It's not like you can do it for 5 or 10 years. It's gonna continue and cycle.
Well, I mean, again,
Yeah.
this is something that we really need to look at somewhere in that 6 million, and let's just even say $5 million a year. That's what we should be doing in replacement every year. And that is, and with a crew, you could do $2.5, $3 million, but there's always gonna be projects that you're gonna have to contract out. But I think that it's something that we really need to consider.
Any other comments, questions? Okay.
Bob Davis, Water Treatment Department report. I've got a copy of your water quality data in here. And you probably, any issues here?
I didn't see that, no.
You want to tell them, these sites, why you picked these sites? I know
Well, a lot of those are, sites from our compliance led cost. And then the other ones is Gil has to do 20 back pee samples a month. So while he's there, we just grab water qualities while we're there. So those stay at my location. And then we also go out to the tank sites, get their pump station. And then, we try to do every month, the satellite systems master meters, get water quality on theirs also.
I like grabbing those master here, so it's like, get everyone up.
Yeah, so we kind of get everything around the system.
So geographically, it's spread representative.
Yes, and then people that bring in, samples, we always give them an extra bottle for water qualities also.
Bobby Pizzini, you have anything?
Good report, Bob.
We had put 2 hydrants in at, River Oaks nursing home. They was out without fire service. It was 2 hydrants broke that they have on their property. And I got crew changing big meters out. The Greater Harrison's all done, they're changed out. They're going to Bridgeport tomorrow to finish that one up on 707.
You want to explain to them the difference between the compounds and what we're switching them over to?
The malt pins, there's no guts in them. It's just wide open. Nothing to go bad. Just run across a piece of stainless in there, measured water that way.
No matter the
Pretty neat.
flow, no matter the flow.
Master meter, is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
And it doesn't matter the flow. See, the compound, you got 2 different types of meters.
It's got chambers in it.
Low flow.
So low flow, high flow, this one here does it all in one meter.
Great.
They're
We changed
very,
the-
very accurate.
Their meter out today to put 2-inch malt pin in there. To River
Okay,
Oaks.
let's see. Are you done with your reports and everything?
Yep, we're ready to go. into
Okay,
executive session.
before we go into that, anybody have anything for the cause? Or newspaper man, do you need to do a brief, quick, somebody with something or anything, interview or anything?
Yes, I need Doug and Jason.
Who?
Doug and Jason.
Doug and Jason? Okay, you guys can go into his office for a minute. We're going to adjourn, then we'll go into an executive session.
I'll make a motion to the executive session.
Second, and we'll state all the terms and so on. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,